Hello, my sweet crafty friends. Monique with Grace and Tattered Lace here. Let's make something fun using these Dollar Tree planks and a plastic skeleton hand. First thing I did was take all of those planks. Now these are the smaller planks. Those aren't the standard ones. I glued them together using those popsicle sticks. Put a nice coat of black paint on there. Now I'm just taking the gator tool and roughing this up around the edges, right down the middle. And now we're going to use some Americana gel stain in the color of walnut. Absolutely love this stain, but we're going over it afterwards because it just gives that black, an old vintagey look, and that grain that I had sanded off just picked it up really nice. It turned out beautiful. Then I took the skeleton hand, I painted it with some off-white chalk paint, guys. I just happen to pour all of my off-white into a bottle, so this is just a Mod Podge of off-white colored chalk paint. Now I'm using my Kills Dark Wax. I'm just kind of going into those little knuckle areas and just blending that wax in. We're just going to go all the way around that entire hand. Look how awesome that looks. Oh my goodness, friends. I absolutely love this. All right, now I took a long piece of muslin fabric. I didn't measure, you guys. I just took a nice long strip. I did a basting stitch up and down, all the way through with needle and thread, pulled it nice and tight. And I did that with that beautiful piece of lace on there as well. Now I just have another piece of fabric that I got over at Hobby Lobby. It has some pretty magnolia stuff on it, you guys. Put some hot glue on the little side there, close it up. We're going to make a little arm out of that. Put some batting inside of it, stuffing, whatever you guys want to call it. Now I'm just taking my needle and thread and just kind of sewing, just basting those two pieces together. Just going to make it easier to glue rather than trying to mess with all three of those pieces gluing together. I'm not a big Halloweeny person, friends, but I just thought, why not? And I just love how this turned out. I hope that you guys will stick around and watch all the way to the end. Give it a little sprinkle if you just love it as much as I do, but I think it's turned out so darn cute. I'm just kind of playing with it, just trying to get it to where I like it. Now I have a piece from my dictionary, and I just pulled out the one that starts with H. It has all the words that have hand in it. I just thought it was appropriate. We're just going to kind of play with it, cut it down. We're going to make a little cuff with this. I did end up using both sides. I wrapped the other side around the fabric and glued them all together just to kind of make it a little bit more stable. I'm just going to glue those little pieces together like that. And I made sure to kind of squeeze it really hard because I wanted to get that glue spread out so I didn't have like a lump of glue, because then we're going to put some wax on there, friends. We're using that same dark wax. I'm going to go right around the whole entire thing, just kind of making it look old and worn. I'm going to put some ribbon around the edges, and we're going to go ahead and do that all the way around the whole entire thing. Look at how darn cute that is. And those are those little black buttons that I found at Hobby Lobby. Oh, isn't that adorable? Okay, I messed with that, got it. We're going to get that glued together, all of those pieces, the arm with the lace and the cuff all attached together. We'll get that glued. We'll glue the hand down to the board. I just love this, you guys. I'm surprised how much I loved this. Anyway, I'm just kind of playing with it, just to kind of get it all tucked in so that the parts aren't sticking out too much. But look at how darn cute that is already. Now I did glue that hand down. We're going to use a little bit of E6000. It's called Quick Bond. Okay, it comes in that purple container. I did find this at Hobby Lobby. Use a little bit of that with some hot glue because I want this to kind of stay on there permanently, and because it's plastic, the hot glue does not work that great, but the hot glue will help hold it down temporarily so that I can at least continue to move on while that quick bond will hold it permanently. Okay, now we're just going to mess around with this a little bit, get it to where we like it. Super cute. Okay, now we just took another piece of ribbon and made a bow, just a regular bow. I just tied it in a loop with another piece of that ribbon that we used on the cuff, just to kind of blend the two things together. I'm just going to take a little brown tag. We're going to stamp 31 on it. And I'm going to use one of those little facial razors, eyebrow razors that came from Dollar Tree. Rough those edges up a little bit. And then I'm just going to crinkle it all up and get it nice and old and worn looking so that we can put some wax on it. Just kind of break those fibers up. Make sure that your ink is dry before you do that. Otherwise, you're going to end up with ink all over. I usually hit mine with the heating tool. I just love when you crinkle the paper and you put wax on it and how it just picks up in the definition. Now I'm using a little scrap piece of that quilt fabric that I had, guys, that I had coffee stained. I'm just going to kind of layer things together. So we have the tag, we have that little quilt piece behind the tag, and a nice cute piece of lace on the top. And I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. I think I meant to cut this part out, but there we go. Okay, I was going to try to use some of that quilt somewhere else because I wasn't liking how plain this board looked. So if I could have gone back in time and done this at the beginning, I would have, but now we're going to do with what we have showing on this board. I felt like the board was just lacking something. So we're going to take some spackle, put some black paint in it, and we're going to spackle on the board. Using this stencil that I got at Hobby Lobby. So just using a little putty knife, just kind of putting it over the top of the stencil, and we're just going to kind of piece it around, kind of fill in the empty spots there. Look at how awesome that looks. Now, it looks great now, but once it was dried, you guys, off camera, when it was completely dried, just kind of blended in a little bit more than I wanted to. It didn't really show up in the pictures. And so off camera, I did put on a little bit of antique gold rub and buff. It comes in a little tube, and you can get that in the paint section at Hobby Lobby. Sometimes you have to ask for help. Put a little bit of greenery up there, that faux Sweet Annie up there on the top of the arm, as you can see. Now I'm putting some Spanish moss with a little styrofoam pumpkin that I got at Dollar Tree. I added some wax to it, and I put some Spanish moss throughout. You guys, I just love how this turned out. I hope that you love it too, that you give it a try and you give us a little sprinkle. Be sure that you're following on Facebook for more fun ideas. Thanks for watching, guys. Monique with Grace and Tattered Lace. Love y'all.